Trampe was 6th at 132 pounds and 2nd at 126 2 years ago. Stands up with the single. Hoffman tried to pancake him. And a little bit of a desperation move, and Trampe is going to hang on and win a state championship. Here's Brad Silimperi in the middle of that triumvirate of Council Rock South coaches. And Zack Trampe is the 132-pound state champion for the Golden Hawks. 4-2 the score in that one.
Day one, 28-day camp, first talk. All right. All right, everybody scoot in here. Scoot in, scoot in. All right. For you that don't know, my name's Jay Robinson. I'm the guy whose name's on this camp, right? What I'm gonna do here over the course of the next 20 to 30 to 40 minutes, tell you a little bit about the camp. I'm gonna tell you a little bit about its history, how it came about, why it came about, what we do here, what you can expect from us, and what we expect from you. It's a thing that's called perspective. It's very important that we're all on the same page, going in the same direction as we spend these next 28 days together.
One of the most interesting coaches that I've ever covered.
Developing national champions and building character into people, and I don't see him stepping down unless he physically can't do it.
You have a definition of hard work, and I have a definition of hard work. And our definitions are miles apart.
Kept wrestling for about 10 seconds and saw the blood on the ground. Put my hand on my face. My hand was full of blood. There it is right there. Got some glue on there.
How much longer is he going to coach? I really don't see retirement as something he craves or looks forward to. I think he enjoys the camps. He enjoys the coaching too much that it's something he'll continue as long as he possibly can.
Well, this is the house that we grew up in. It's probably 1950 when we all moved in. We walked to school. Elementary school is about 3 or 4 blocks away. Junior high is a little bit farther. And we all went to the same high school, Mount McGill. Jimmy's the oldest, and then John is the next, and then Jay, and then I'm Jerry. And Jay, poor Jay, I guess they couldn't come up with a name, so they just used the initial. So.
When we were younger, there was my dad and my mom, and on the bank right out there in the ivy, my dad planted M5Js. So that was Margaret, John, and the 4 boys. They were very caring parents. There wasn't a lot of the word love going around, but you could feel it in the air. And we basically show it by physical means instead of verbal.
I never heard my dad swear. I never heard, he didn't drink, he didn't smoke, neither did my mom. I mean, they were very conservative people with very strong family values. And as a result, they passed those on to their sons. And it built a very tight group of 4 boys because we did pretty much everything together.
They taught us a good work ethic. Get a job, show up on time. When layoffs come, they're not going to get rid of you, they're going to get rid of anybody else.
I think that I probably grew up in the greatest time period and place in the history of the United States. Within San Diego, within 2 hours, you have everything. You have mountains, you have desert, you have a foreign country, and you have the ocean. You had all these things. You had surfers, you had the Beatles. You had all these iconic cultural things happening all at the same time. Friday night sports and playing football, and sports were an important part, and our high school wrestling team was really good. We were on a freshman team. We weren't even close to being good enough to wrestle in the varsity or junior varsity. It was terrible. I was 0-7 going into my last match, and I pulled it out. And then as a junior, I got to wrestle more, and I got better at it. I ended up winning what was classified as our state tournament. And so then I'm really into it now. My senior year, we got a new coach, which was Coach Blass, who was a couple-time NCAA champion from Oklahoma State.
Started at Mount McGill in the fall of 1963. and that was Jay's senior year. My fortune to inherit them and to, I say, put the polish on them because they had the talent, they had the ability, they had the desire.
We got nicknamed Killer's Row. At 47, who was the defending CIF or state champion, as we called him, Mike Rudleff, and then there was me, and then there was Jimbo Stevens, and then there was Jim Harder.
Call us Killer Row because with us 4 in a row there, almost nobody scored any points. Nobody won any dual mean points against us. Jay was a killer pinner. He just was a pinner. We wrestled though, it was like like dogs, right? So
Jay, of course, was always considered to be the best wrestler on the team, and he was, not just considered, but he was the best wrestler.
My deal was to pin everybody my senior year, and so I pinned everybody up to the finals, and then I beat the guy in the finals 6-0. Actually, he was pinned, but the ref didn't call it. All right. So wrestling was quickly becoming my life. It was my identity, and I was good at it, and I just wanted to be better at it.
The Council Rock South High School wrestling program has a deep-rooted connection with J. Robinson Intensive Camps. Head wrestling coach Brad Silimperi attended the 1987 intensive camp and is now sending 2 of his athletes.
I'm Ben Radner. I'm an incoming freshman at Council Rock South High School. I'm planning on wrestling 113 this year. I'm from Holland, Pennsylvania. I started off playing football when I was 4, and I was a little too small and the helmet was too heavy. I would just fall over, I couldn't get up. The coach actually had a son who wrestled, so he told me to try it out, and I loved it right off the bat.
Ben had a very good year this year by anybody's standards. He took 4th place in Super 32, which is a major national earlier on in the year. He placed 3rd at states. What's going to separate him from the pack is going to be some of the skills that he's going to learn at J. Rob.
He's going to have to make an adjustment. It's not, you're not going to be in the wrestling room beating up on everybody every day. It's going to be the other way around. He's wrestling young men now. He's not wrestling boys anymore. Going to camp, I think, is really going to help him with that because every day he's going to be the low man on the totem pole and he's going to need to prove himself.
All the people I've talked to have been giving me the scoop on how it's just hell for 28 days. I personally thought that I'm not going to do a 14-day. If I was going to do the camp, I was going to go all out or nothing. I've been heard from my coach Brad Silimperi. He went to it twice in the 80s, and he said it will change your life forever. The disciplinary skills that it gives you is just out of this world.
I think the 28-day definitely supersedes the 14 days just because it's double. I mean, it's double the work. It's double the mental toughness. So it's real. Yeah, I think it's going to be a good experience for the guys.
It's really going to be a tough time making the varsity lineup, but I know that if I work hard, and I know if I put my time through with J-Rob, that I'll get that much better, and then I can make the varsity lineup.
Ben's teammate takes a different path to get to the intensive camp.
Going into high school, I guess I was an 8th grader. I had a friend who was going to be a senior that year. His name was Jack Mushlitz. So we both went to camp our first, that year back. I guess it was summer of '87.
The first year I went by myself, and then the next year wanted to go back again. Brad was coming in as a freshman. Talked to him about it.
And we went to camp, had a great experience, and then we took what we learned at camp and tried to incorporate some of those things, with our high school team. We kind of lost contact. And so it's been 20, 25 years. And then all of a sudden, about 2 months ago, he asked me if I had any kids that wanted to go to camp. I said, well, yeah, we sent 5 kids last year. We're sending 5 kids this year. And he said, well, I would like to sponsor one of your kids. And I was floored. I was like, wow, this is incredible.
Without having gone through that camp, I wouldn't be the person I am today, and I wouldn't be where I am today. It just stayed with me. You learn that you put the work in, you'll get something back out of it.
Kind of neat because it's come really full circle. 25, 30 years later, Jack's still giving back because of Jay's camp. That's what these kids are going to experience. And for him to be able to say, I want to start giving back to the sport that really helped me, and especially give what we call a scholarship to camp. And we said, let's have all the kids write a letter to Jack. And we said, let's tell them a little bit about themselves, and then, why they would want to go to Jay Robinson's camp and why this is so important. They gave the letters to me, and I forwarded them to Jack, and then Jack picked the winner, and Zach wrote the winning letter. So Zach's going to be going to camp this year, compliments to Jack Mushlitz.
I'm Zack Trampe. I'm going to be a sophomore at Council Rock South in Pennsylvania. I'm about 130 pounder now. I sat down one night and spent about 4 hours writing an essay. Sent it in to my coach. Then at our end of the year banquet, he called me up and he said, I got a letter for you in the mail. When I opened it, it said, congratulations, you're going to J-Rob.
Zach's been part of our extended family, football, wrestling, since Ben's been a real little kid. Probably one of the funkiest wrestlers you have ever seen. Watching him in the last couple of years, his attack mode is really intense.
He had a great year, won a ton of matches, was a round away from going to the state tournament, and arguably the toughest weight in the state. He took 4th at regionals.
I lost in overtime, and that was really upsetting. I was takedown away from my goals, and it was just crushed when I lost. I think it was 1-1 going into overtime. He ended up taking me down. I wasn't really happy with the call.
It was a crazy call. The stands went nuts. Weren't sure if it was going to get turned, and it was hard. Very, very hard.
It was just a terrible way to end my freshman year.
He's just got to learn that it's a temporary setback, and I think by going to camp and struggling through camp and kind of getting a good gut check and really learning about himself, it's really going to help next year.